cool. We can do that. So once again, good evening, everyone. My name is Scott Mackham. I go by Mr. Empowerment. I got several different logos. I had to throw the lion back there because I'm feeling like the king of everything right now. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
So pretty much now that's one of my logos. That's actually the logo for my tax company, Alpha and Omega Tax and Small Business LLC. So the lion is I'm a Leo, so that's pretty much my thing. Red's not my favorite color, it just stuck with me, right? Now, what I would say is a lot of people that often, Mr. Brad, that get in touch with me about LLCs. They get in touch with me about trust, a number of things that I do as a notary. And not only am I just, I give you a little background, not only am I just a notary, I'm a notary signing agent in the state of South Carolina, as well as brother Steve Mims. Steve and I know in the past we've done a lot of things together on the notary end and mortgage end, and so we were able to help assist title companies close loans out. So that's one thing that, as long as you are attorney supervised, just to give y'all a little hint, boop, 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 and you're a notary, broaden your horizons. Now, let's talk about one of the things. A lot of people talk about an LLC. First, let me dispel the myths of an LLC. An LLC is not an incorporation. It's not an S corp. It can be an LLC, can be an S corp. But because you have an LLC, LLC doesn't stand for incorporation. A corporation, it stands for company, that's C. So LLC, first of all, you need to know what it states. Limited Liability Company is what it stands for. All right. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, if we pay attention to the words limited, means that there's a cap or a certain amount or boundary that it goes as far as. Liability, when I say liability, pretty much means what are you liable for? Somebody sue you. If they sue you personally, everything that your personal self owns that they can trace, track, or put a lien on, or tape, or put in the lawsuit so they can get their money, they can get it. Then company. All right. So you're limiting the liability of your company. But that's not it. You're also definitely limiting your liability. Here's what's beautiful about an LLC most people don't understand. It allows you to kind of work twofold. It allows you to work from a company standpoint and have a business, and it allows you to work personally too. That's why I say it's limited liability, because it knows that your personal is involved. So let me back up to make it make sense, like you young people would say. It limits your liability. It puts the liability on the company instead of you personally. But it's not an incorporation and it's not an S corporation. And I'll explain those two in a moment. When you just go out and you get an EIN number, which is an employee identification number, it's the same thing as a federal ID number. When we say the jargon in the game, if we say federal ID, we're also talking about an EIN number, okay? A TIN, you know, I'm a tax professional, about 30 years now. Tax broker, kind of like a real estate broker. A lot of you guys on here, I understand, probably in the real estate flipping or whatever. but I'm the tax broker. You could get a license called a PTIN, and you could file your taxes through me. You have to have somebody endorse you, like H&R Block, Jackson, or Hewitt. That's neither here nor there. So let's move. Your limit. When you have that limited liability company, it's sweet, depending on what you're trying to do. No one can sue you personally. So y'all make sure y'all take notes, put it on paper. When you put it on paper, it comes to life. Right?
Hey,
write it down.
That's the thing. Right now, get your papers, get your pens out, and get your questions ready.
Because I'm gonna hit you with some other stuff, but I'm gonna give you a little segue in it, and then I'm gonna break down some stuff, some questions that I already have previously here for you guys. Limited liability company, that's what it stands for. It limits your liability. If you get sued, they have to sue the company. They can't sue you personally. If you are a sole proprietor and all you got is an EIN number, I don't care if you got liability insurance, hazard insurance, whatever. Someone you gotta, let's use this scenario. You own a company or a salon or a barbershop or my tax office. Someone walks in and slips up from the mop floor, gets hurt, they sue. If you're a sole proprietor, whatever that company doesn't have when they sue, or your liability insurance doesn't pay, they can come after all your personal assets. They can get your cars, your house, everything until it amounts to the payout of what they're suing for. When you have an LLC, they can sue the LLC, and once it taps out, that's it. Whatever's in the company, whatever the insurance was in the bank account for that company, assets of that company, that's the only thing they can get up to. All your personal stuff that you put over here, your houses, your cars, your bank account money, personally, they can't touch it. That's a good thing. Here's something else, a benefit of an LLC. So I'm kind of going back, because I'm going to throw you benefits. Benefits of that LLC also, when you at the grocery store, when you out shopping, when you at the restaurant, you know, like y'all like to spend that good money on these queens and stuff, you can use that same debit card or credit card from the LLC. Now, that's a pro. Here's the con of that. You still have to be able to separate what's business and what's personal. So I'm gonna drop y'all a nugget to save you on a little bookkeeping. I tell my tax clients, because if you drop your stuff off in just a bag of receipts, I'm gonna charge you for bookkeeping and tax. I'm gonna do your bookkeeping $100 an hour, and then I'm gonna do your tax. Right? Now, you got to be able to go in there and separate what is business and what's personal. Now, if you just eating that McDonald's playing around, that's personal. If you went and bought yourself a pair of Nikes, that ain't a uniform. That ain't nothing, because if you ever get audited, they're gonna get you about that. And hopefully Brad will have me come back on and talk to y'all about the tax structure thing, the do's and the don'ts. All right. You can use that same card. You just have to take the time to separate it. There's an app called Wave Apps, WAVEAPPS.com. It's free unless you send somebody an invoice. That'll track your income and expenses from your bank account. And that way, when you go to do your taxes for your LLC, when you print it out, it's gonna give you what you call a profit loss statement. All right. Now, that's the pro. That's one of the pros. You could kind of play around in that account how you want. Once you become an S corp or incorporation, you're not supposed to be going in there using that credit card for personal stuff. That debit card from your business checking account for personal stuff. You got to pay yourself dividends or salary. All right. When it's an LLC, you can kind of just play around in the bank accounts how you want, but you definitely want to make sure whatever you claim as a business expense, you got proof that it was for your business. That's another thing with an LLC.
Well, you spent that game tonight.
Why have an LLC? Yes, what you say, brother?
I would say, no, my bad. I would say you spent that game tonight.
Got to.
You spent that game tonight.
Oh.
I'm coming to y'all straight from the block. Right? Because I always tell brothers when I go pull them from there. Y'all think I met Brad Nelson in a corporate conference room somewhere? We was lit. We was partying.
Oh, pardon me, OG. Pardon me. Hey, can I get that website one more time? I'm writing it down for my notes.
Like I'm waving at somebody. Apps.com. It's a free service unless you invoice somebody or you choose their accounting services. And
Okay,
Brad got an accounting hookup for y'all. Brad keep a lot of connections, man. He's been groomed and taught very well. Why have an LLC? Matter of fact, I ought to ask y'all that question because I didn't drop some nuggets why you should definitely have an LLC.
Let's go.
That's the easy question. Number one is because it limits your liability. Can't nobody sue you. No one can sue you. They have to, unless you make a mistake in that application, which is the articles of organization, and I'm gonna break down the different things that go in a true LLC. Because you may not think you need all of them right now, but at the end, you're gonna come up like some people have and say, man, they didn't ask for this now. They want this now. I said, well, that's gonna cost you this. Because you should have got it when I was giving you the special on it in the first place. I always tell people, and Brad and Kason and Steve, I've told people, the most important asset that you and I will ever have is time. Not money. All y'all done made money. Y'all can hang up right now and make a damn dollar. Anybody can in America. Buy your kids 2 bike, 1 ride, 1 to rent. And you can make $1. Right? Now, one of the main reasons to have LLC, it limits your liability. 2 is most companies that are going to give you a contract for something. I deal with clients got trucking businesses, got different businesses. People will not give them the contract to deal with them if they're not an LLC. Because they know that it limits liability. They want to cut down as much liability to them because guess what can happen? You get sued over here personally. You was delivering a load like I'm a partner with a logistics company. We delivering a load. If it ain't straight in the company, somebody sued them, they got to get money from somewhere else too, right? So it limits the liability. When you got all your ducks in a row, people who pay you bigger dollars like to deal with you, okay? Now, the main thing, it limits your liability. That's why you should have an LLC, all right? Now, here's some of the things needed before signing up for an LLC. I got a cheat sheet because I had Brother Brad and a couple of people send me some questions, and that's fine, that helps. Some of the things you'll need before signing up for an LLC. One is the name of all your members of the LLC. Members, not shareholders like an S corp or incorporated, because you sell shares of stock in those things. You don't do that in the LLC. So, but an LLC can be an S corp. We'll get to that in a minute. LLC, first of all, you want who's going to be the members? Well, it's going to be Brother Marquise, where it's going to be Kason, going to be Rashawn, Steve, Sammy, and Brad. We need all legal names of everybody who's going to be on the LLC, right? The next thing we're gonna need, we don't need date of birth. So you will not need your date of birth, but you will need a social security number. Anybody know why you probably need that social security number? Because some people say, well, I'm gonna get an EIN number, why I need the social security number? Why do you think? Anybody want to take a stab at it? Okay.
Who would be the
Son.
owner of the company if there's nobody pulling the personal owner?
Right. So the LLC still belongs to somebody. Right. And generally when we're in the IRS.gov, and I don't mind saying EINs are free of charge. That's the cheapest thing in the LLC. You go in and get your EIN. I always tell people you never want to go after the EIN before you go after the approval of the LLC. Here's why. I learned a valuable lesson. I went and got an EIN number and went to put the name in for the LLC in the state, and it was already too close or taken. So now you got an EIN number over here that says Flip Market 864, and then you got a damn LLC that says Flip Market S864 SC. The names don't even match. Okay. Now, so first thing you're gonna need is the name of all the members. Then we're gonna need your social security number. So we don't use that for the Secretary of State in whatever state you're applying for. We use that for the IRS to get your EIN number. They're gonna require at least one of your social security numbers. We're gonna need something else called the address. We're gonna need 2 addresses from you. I'm gonna need your residence as a member, your address, and preferably a business address for the LLC. Now, I know a lot of people work from home, they do home-based businesses and stuff, and that's fine. If you are in that category, you're gonna want to get with Brad and Kaysan to eventually get yourself a virtual office. Because lending institutions don't like to lend money to you if you got a business and you at home. Some will, but you're going to have a hell of a good of credit. They'll use every excuse not to give it to you if you're not set up that way. Okay, secondly, you want to have an address, personal address, and you want to have a business address. Now, if you don't have that virtual office address right now, that's fine, especially if you're not trying to go get a business loan with the LLC. Just use your home address. Because when you do your tax return, you got a credit that they call business use of home. And that means you'll be able to write off a certain percentage of all of your, every bill that comes in that home. Rent, mortgage interest, property tax, utilities, internet improvements, everything, you'll be able to write a percentage of it off. It's called business use of home. All right, next. You're gonna need a phone number, of course. And you're gonna need an email address where I can send you correspondence. Now, generally, when I do an LLC for somebody, I use my business email address because you won't believe at the number of people where I've applied for them and they've gotten approved and they asking me, man, what's up with the LLC? I'm talking about, I don't know, check your email. And they go back, check, and it's in their spam box somewhere. They got approved 3 days ago, but they calling me. Well, so I just automatically now, even though you give me your email address, I'm gonna put mine in. Why? Because you can go online do what they call the Articles of Organization. That's the application for LLC. Articles of Organization. That's one thing you're gonna have to go to the bank to open that business account with the LLC. And it's gonna have to be stamped and certified by Mark Hammond, which is South Carolina's. Now, I don't know who's North Carolina's, but I do South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia. I've done them all. They gonna stamp it, and the bank's gonna want to see the stamp copy. With me, you get the unstamped copy and the stamp copy. I go online and do it digitally because I normally get it in South Carolina. Definitely, I get it in 24 to 48 hours. Is your LLC's approved. It's doing the application right. It's not rocket science, but some people get caught up. They're just not used to doing it. All right. So we're gonna do your articles of organization. I'm gonna need your name. I'm gonna need your personal address, the LLC address. Write down registered agent. Registered agent. You need to know that. If you are the owner of the LLC and you're starting it, and I think it's brother Marquise, you're gonna want to put your name as the registered agent. You're the registered agent. And what that means is that if you got to get correspondence from the IRS or the Secretary of State or a legal correspondence, that's the person that they send everything to. Now, I got some clients, I'm the registered agent, and they use my P.O. box. So if they get something from the feds or the state or somebody trying to sue them, it comes to me and I get in contact with the LLC member. So that's fine too. One person told me, well, wouldn't that make you the owner of my company? No, it does. The members and then the organizers are the people who own your LLC. Now you may have 3 members or 3 people starting it, but then you say, who was the person organizing it all? And then they got a thing. It may be more than one. It may be all 3 of you organized. I'm in a lot of groups that I'm the man that take care of everything just about. So I end up being the agent, registered agent. Now, something else you're gonna need. You're gonna need to know what it is you're gonna be doing in this LLC. The name of the business. What do you do? Why? Because another form, so far I told y'all about the articles of organization. That's the application. Then I told you about the EIN number. You're gonna get that letter from the IRS. We get that the same day too. Then you're gonna have another thing, it's called operational agreement. Operational agreement. That's about 20-something to 37 pages. Mr. K-Son and Brad, y'all probably got about, when we were starting out, 2 or 3 companies y'all own with all that. In that operational agreement, K-Son, do you know something that you established in there that you wanted to put specific to explain what you're doing in yours?
So I got mine as an enterprise. So even if I do advertising, sales, entertainment purposes, real estate, my enterprise can be looked at from different incomes. So when you sign up for your operating agreements, it needs to be something that you're doing, so that way if you're ever invoicing people, writing receipts, it's actually looked at under that EIN. Because you don't have to have 6 companies if you got one LLC as the umbrella company, and basically look at it as every company that you name as an income under your LLC could be looked at as different operating agreements. So you could basically have 6 businesses, but they all fall under your enterprise. So that way you don't have to file different tax numbers or different EINs, and then you got to get taxed for 2 or 3 different companies when you could have it as an enterprise.
Awesome. Thank you, K-Son. Man, I'll be proud of my mentees, man. Guys, I like to just be real and transparent, man. Listen, Some of these things you can do. But if you like me, it's a lot of things I can do. Sometimes I do so much I don't have time, so I just pay somebody to do it if I know it's gonna be right. Your operation agreement, that's gonna explain like how much you investing in your company or started it with. Say for instance, if I charge you $400 for an LLC. In South Carolina, $145, a little under 150 is gonna go to the Secretary of State. So that's gonna leave me with about 150, 155 to work with for me personally. So in that amount, I'm gonna do your articles, make sure they're right. I'm gonna apply for your EIN number, make sure it's right. I'm gonna do your operation agreement, make sure it's right. I'm gonna take all your documents and I'm gonna package them in a binder and have your certificate of existence. That comes, Brother Marquise, y'all, with that too. They send you a certificate you have to put on your wall. And I frame that so you can, I put it in the frame. So when I hand it to you, you can go hang it on your wall. It needs to be at whatever address you're saying is your place of business, right? Hang it on your wall, make copies of it. Cause I just went with a client yesterday to Atlanta. He's in retail, has a clothing line, helped them get straight. He was out there, man, balling, doing his thing. And I care about him. So I said, man, if you can do this, you can run a company. So we went to Atlanta, getting with the wholesalers for the clothing. So all this stuff, he got a whole notebook. He don't go nowhere without it. I said, you ain't got to take it to eat with us, but he said, I take it everywhere I go. And he's got the other stuff hanging on the wall. So you're gonna get articles, organization, EIN, operation agreement. You're gonna get your certificate. That's that license on the wall of existence. Then I'm gonna give you all your receipts. You know what you paid. Why? Why am I gonna give you your receipts for this LLC? Anybody know?
Taxes.
Taxes.
Write them off. Taxes. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna write them off on your taxes, man. One thing anybody can tell you once you become a client of mine, I'm gonna tell you all your write-offs and different things, what you should be doing. All that's gonna be in a beautiful binder. Now, I implore you to check out stuff like LegalZoom, Law Depot, all these different places. And when you look at it, guys, you're gonna see, I've had clients come into me and have paid $600 to $900 for this. And a lot of the expenses were number fluff. Administration fee, this fee, that fee. I said, them fees, they just throwing in there to make it sound great. With Brad and myself, I told him I would lead us at this. The average client come to me when I do it for about $500. But I told him for your group, I do it for $4. I told him I do it for $4 because I mean he's like my little bro and I'm proud of him and blah blah blah. But a lot of it's time with me. When I get off of this in about 45 minutes, I got to put a suit on and be on another train. So it's all about the time, your most important asset. Next thing, let me go over this because I want to get everything in for y'all I can. So make sure you got I want you to have your name of your LLC, your social security number, your personal address, your business LLC address, if it's different, even if it's the same, put it in there. All right. And an explanation of what you're going to be doing. Selling jewelry, selling cars, flipping properties, blah, blah, blah. And if you want to put in there, they have a death clause in it that I put in some of them 30 pages that says something happens to me, I want to leave this to my child. I want to leave this to my significant other. I want to leave it to my mama. I got people that's single say, man, when I die, get this shit to my mom. Even though it's not a will, it's in your LLC paperwork. I just had a business partner died that Kason, Steve, and Brad know. She died back in May, and everything is in probate because you ain't had no will or nothing written in our LLC for.
That's tough.
Yeah, and you'll know, Pam. So if y'all want to kill the headache, guys, go on and put it in there. If something happened to me, give my LLC to blah, this. The judge is going to honor that. Why? Because I'm going to notarize and stamp it. Okay. Next, Brad, I'm going to hit you with, can I change names for my LLC? You can change your name for an LLC. That's going to cost you about another $110 though. Only thing they don't really charge you for is like you change the address. It's some things it's free, but it can charge you up to $110 depending on what all you're doing. Okay, son, you got a question?
I was about to say, it's definitely like $110 for the name.
Okay, so I'm going off my head because stuff changes every day. $110. Now, guess what? It's $110 if I go in there and do your articles of organization and tell them to mail it to me, and I want to wait 2 to 3 weeks for you to get your approval. It's $110 instead of $145.50. But who the hell want to wait 2 weeks? You might as well pay $35.50 extra and get it done. Sometimes if I do it early enough, within an hour they approve it. They send you certificates, send you stamp articles. I just got to do your operation agreement and go get your EIN in and get your frames and your booklet packet so I can package it up nice so you always know where it's at. All right. So it's definitely 110. Now, can I change my LLC address? You can. Now, here's the good thing. I went in there this past year to change someone's address. They charged me $10. So $10. You in business. I always tell people you either running a business or a hustle. If you're running a hustle, you're gonna think like a hustler all the time. You're running a business, you know you gotta bear some expense. Like I just told y'all, some stuff I just damn pay for. If I got time to sit around and do it, I do it. But if I don't, I call somebody I trust and say, Brad, do this. Brad, edit this on this commercial. What it is, $100. All right, here you go. Because I ain't got time, man, sometimes. Now, because I want to let y'all ask questions. What's the difference between an LLC and an EIN? Well, a LLC is a limited liability company. A EIN is an employer's identification number. That's your federal ID number. You keep it too, just like a social security number. You just, if you set up another LLC, they ain't gonna let you transfer it to that. You're gonna have to get another number. Now, if you're a sole proprietor though, and you get an EIN number, if you say, well, I'm still in retail, they'll let you go on and switch it and put a new name on it and ask you a bunch of questions. You'll be on the phone about an hour with the IRS and they slow. All right. What I would suggest though too is when you get that packet, you're gonna have an operation, articles of organization, EIN, operational agreement, certificate of existence. You're gonna take that into your bank. You're gonna hand it to them. Some of them gonna look at you like a cow at a new gate. Some of them gonna look at you like you don't belong here. Because in some instances, they want to figure out ways for you not to get it in the first place. I just had that same client I went to Atlanta with. Bank, I sent him to the bank. One of the banks I bank with. They told him, oh, you got your son over there. He can't own the LLC. Nobody ever said he owned it. You got to take them out. We ain't gonna be able to do this. They call that redlining, by the way. Y'all may want to read on that redline. Because if you understand when it comes to minorities, that a woman, no matter what color she is in America, is a minority. So somebody who's not a minority, who has a minority wife, can put home so much percentage of the company. And if she don't, as long as he don't give her enough power to vote her out, he can go get them same minority grants you and I should get. And he's not a minority. That's just a free nugget. So some of them are in their LLCs too. You want to make sure you have that packet when you hand it to the banker. That banker's gonna take it. They're gonna scan it probably. They're gonna scan it, email it, send it up to their corporate headquarters, whether it's Bank of America or TD Bank. Wood Forest is good when it comes to that. TD Bank is very favorable to minorities. They from out of Canada. They love minorities to bank with them. Which I got them at different banks though. Brad and I, we deal Bank of America, different stuff. But TD Banks is very favorable of minorities because they're not from America anyway. All right. Now, once you put it in there, they scan it in, they're gonna open that account when it's $25, $50, $100, whatever they say. Once you got that, they're gonna print your debit card out. Most banks print your debit card right then and there in front of you. Give it to you. You're in business. You're in business. Get your Wave app set up your bookkeeping. If you don't feel comfortable with it, get with Brad. He's got a CPA. I'm not a CPA. I'm a certified bookkeeper and a electronic return originator in the tax industry. I'm about to become an EA and enrolled agent. So I'll be able to represent my clients in tax court like an attorney soon. So, but you guys take that in, set up your accounts, you get your business card, put some money in that bank, and start rolling, man. It's not rocket science. It's not that difficult. I'm just telling you, and I always keep it up front. Whenever I do it, you know, you're gonna pay me for my time to do all of it, and I'm gonna make sure it's right the first time. If I make an error, I'm human. Rarely do I, because I'm gonna dot the I's and cross the T's. I'm diligent and meticulous. So I will go in there and double check once I get it. I'm gonna be calling you, man. Where can I meet you at to give you your package? Go on to your bank, do what you do. And then from there, you get to turn right around and sign up in with Brand and Flip Market and get all your other consultants. Somebody like myself will probably be in there in some of those teachers, okay? What I wanted to do, Brad, is because it's not a whole lot of different pieces that you have to put in the LLC. It's just you want to make sure it's right the first time. You want to understand that some changes are gonna cost you. Pretty much the address doesn't, but the name does, 110. Change a member, take them off, might be 75. So there's always different little fees that go into it. I want to open up the panel or the chat for you guys to ask me some questions. And if you have to, I try to stick with LLC, but if you ask me a little something different, Brad, I'll try to answer it for you.
Yeah, let's go and open up Q&A. If you got a question right now, I know we just digest a lot of information, which was straight sauce, like my boy Sammy said. Just unmute yourself and let's not talk over each other, and let's try to keep it brief because I don't want to hold him too much longer. He literally just talked for 45 minutes straight. So
I got two questions. I want him to answer for everybody though.
All right, go ahead, Kay. We'll start with you to start it off. Everybody else have your questions ready.
So I kind of want you to go over a little bit more about how much stuff like really is a write-off and what they underestimate and what it's really meant for, because I think a lot of people think a write-off is like not paying for something, but it's really a deduction on your tax bill for the income you make.
Now that's a deep one. I'm gonna give you a couple things because we can talk about that for damn 3 hours.
Give me some, give me say something
I
short.
just put it this way: everything you pay for in that LLC, every dime you put in the bank account to start it up, everything you pay to get your supplies, your rent, your office, your mileage, your cars, your meals. When you going out, most of you guys are in real estate investment. When you go out to talk to me and say, Mr. McCam, I want to sell your building. I want to buy it from you. I want to sell you a building. Or when Brad does these workshops and y'all got snacks and water and whatever you pay for it, 100% deductible. Mileage is about 58.3 cents a mile, okay? Gas, repairs on your car, your insurance, your interest, your car payment, your business use of home. So say for instance, you got a 2,000 square foot home and you got a 200 square foot room as your office. Like I'm sitting in the office room in my smart home now upstairs. In here, if this is 150 square feet, then say if it's 200 out of 2,000, that's 10%. So 10% of every expense come through that home, you write it off. All right. You write off your training, you write off your licenses, you write off your internet, you write off your website, you write off your business card. When I'm out eating, Steve will tell you, and we like a little Asian buffet sometimes. I get with Mr. Mills, we'll eat, and sometimes we fight over the damn receipt, who gonna pay it? Literally, not fight, but you know, we family, but you know, I grab it and pay for it, and then I write on there what we did. So you can write it off. It's about paper trail. See, we get in trouble as brothers and sisters, guys, for lack of paper trail. We want everything under the table. And trust me, I know sometimes it comes back to bite. And then sometimes you don't want to write off every single expense, depending on what you're gonna do. If you go into these banks, they want to see you with a profit. If everything's negative this, negative this, negative this, guess what they're gonna say? After you pay all that, how you gonna pay our loan back? So it depends on what you're gonna be doing. You may say, well, shit, man, I ain't even trying to do another loan for the next 2 years. So 2 years, don't do it. Just remember when you go get that loan, they may want 2 years of return. So you want to calculate what year you're gonna do what's what. But K-Son, yeah, you get to write off just about every damn thing in business. Brother Sammy.
Yes, sir.
You got a question, sir?
Yes, sir, I do. Yes, sir, I do. It's kind of a two-parter. So let's say I just made an LLC earlier this year. I got my articles of organization. I haven't opened my bank account yet. Let's say my credit's not good and I want to make an amendment and I want to add my girl because her credit's way better than mine. Let's say I want to add her to my LLC so I can get some quick funding. What kind of
what state are you in, Sam? What state are you in?
I'm in South Carolina.
Okay, it's gonna be K-Son. I'm thinking it's either between 75 or 110. It's probably 110.
I'm assuming 110. So basically,
yeah, South Carolina's kind of easy. So let me let y'all know this too. Where I'm thinking about it. South Carolina doesn't charge an annual fee. North Carolina does. Some of the other states do. South Carolina, you just file your taxes, go on. You don't have to pay an annual fee every year for your LLC. So it's probably, Sammy, I'm gonna dare to say 110.
Okay, understood. The second part to the question is, the reason I was so hesitant about opening my bank account is that I was afraid of being liable for taxes.
Well, you're gonna be liable for taxes anyway. If you're making money, you're supposed to, according to the IRS, if you make $10 self-employed, you should be filing a return. Doesn't mean you're gonna owe back.
That's what we were just discussing about. When if you make 100 grand and you owe the IRS 20, but if you spent 20 to make that 100 bands, then technically you don't owe them nothing.
Well, it's paper trail. A lot of people don't keep up with nothing. Y'all out here spending and you ain't keeping no receipt writing on it. You ain't got, I'm gonna teach y'all something. Get you 12 envelopes. The big manila envelopes. Get you 12 envelopes. And every month, if you get a little white envelope to stick in it, put your income. That's your income. So you say, this month I made $10,000. We know that. That's your gross. Now put all your receipts in there too. And when you calculate it, you got it. Instead of trying to scuffle like some people was doing this past Monday, it had me up almost to midnight and wonder why I charged them another $100 or $2. Because now you got my back against the wall trying to get, you filed an extension. Now you're trying to get all your stuff together before midnight. Oh no, hell, I go to sleep and eat and watch the Lakers and all that just like everybody else. So if you're gonna intrude on my personal time, you're gonna pay me like a boss. See, everybody wanna be a boss till you talk about the money.
Preach, preach.
And money, see, listen, a lot of people say too, money don't make me, I make money. I tell them you a lie because I seen people do a lot. Money that made people do a lot of stuff, but what are you making money do?
Scott don't watch a lot of people make a lot of money and they ain't did nothing with it.
What do you make money do? What's money doing for you right now? Money will only take on the personality of the hand that is in. Yeah, you write that nugget down, Brother Marquis. See, that's what you do.
Yes, sir.
That's deep. Yeah. Money takes on the personality of the hand that is in. If you bad with $1, you're gonna be awful with $1 million. People always say, if I had more money, I'd be better off. No, you won't, because you didn't change your habits with it. Change your mind, change your life, right? So yeah, so brother Sammy, when you put that money in that bank account, it's all about, like I said, if you don't know how to keep up with your books, you need to get with Brad, holler at Brother Roby, somebody who could do your bookkeeping for you.
Yes.
Sir, yes, sir.
We get in trouble for lack of paper trail. Why are you afraid of paying a tax dollar when you're making money?
I'm not necessarily afraid. I just want to start off big. I want to show the bank that, hey, when I make that first deposit, I want to show them a big deposit. I ain't want
well, they don't really depending on where you're getting that money from. Here's some things they don't tax. It said if you went and borrowed the money and got a loan, they ain't taxing you for that.
Okay.
The IRS is not coming to say, like the people who got the SBA loans and stuff like that, they deposited it into their account. They don't tax you for that. They're taxing you for income.
Only
so
And that's why you want to keep up with your expenses, legitimate expenses. Now we ain't writing off dogs and parrots, and we're not buying groceries at Ingles and all that. And then some people coming in, I done looked at returns and say, man, y'all gonna mess around and go to jail. No, she told me I could write the groceries off when I shop for my house. Oh no.
Can I ask you this? My last question. Is there any benefits of not making any income my first year? If I go start my business,
Yeah, not paying any taxes, no income, no tax.
Okay.
I mean, really, just like when I told you, you either running a business or a hustle, Sammy. So I got some people, they still hustling, man. They and I can't say nothing because I had to get out of that groove. You know, I come out of what you call the neighborhood, the hood, right? So we were used to hustling. You know, I made $100. I ain't letting the IRS know I made that. But when you get with somebody, and my mentors educated me, when you get with a good CPA, when you get with somebody that can do it, y'all guys got a good, I'm not a CPA. I can do bookkeeping and I'm an arrow in the tax industry. But you get with Brad, you get with Roby, you know, they could turn around and they're gonna advise you to say, listen, man, you making this, this, and this, you can write this up. You need to keep this, you need to keep that. You need to make your bookkeeper, accountant's job easy. See, it doesn't become a problem when you got the paperwork. You see what I mean? And I understand. I'm understand because I see it from both sides of the fence, man. I've been there. I've been there. And I'll say it like this. Yeah, nobody wants to tell Aunt Iris, because you know that's Uncle Sam's wife, right? Some of y'all got wives, some of y'all got girlfriends. When your girlfriend in your ear about something long enough, you got to do something about it, or you ain't gonna have a good night, right? So Aunt Iris is Uncle Sam's wife. So when she started making noise, then the G-men come see you, because they tired of hearing her. Go over there and see about Brother Marquis. He ain't giving me my money, go see him. Now you got the black suits, white shirts, black tie at your door. I mean, I just keep it real. But if you get with certain professionals, you got, like I say, CPA, Roby. You got different things. I do bookkeeping, but when it gets to, yes, Kason.
No, I'm sorry. I was about to say, that's when, if Scott is your registered agent, they will notify him and not y'all if they came knocking.
Yeah, they will. And I'll be honest, K-Son, I become picky about the registered agent thing, because see, you got to be kept in South Carolina anyway. You know, I have to charge you a document preparation fee, because I don't want to lose my notary license and things like that. Okay. I'm really not supposed to tell you, okay, you're gonna do this operation agreement, you got to do this. That's why I'm educating you guys. You can do your own LLC if you want. In no way or circumstance you should do business with anybody telling you, no, you got to do this with me. You know, no, that's not true. You can do your own tax return. Now, whether it's right when you do it, that's on you. But you can do your own. There's no law against you saying you can't do your own return and your own books or your own LLC or your own will or your own trust. You can do it yourself if you know what you're doing.
How much you charge for business taxes? You do, cause if I go ahead and start that business account tomorrow, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to file on taxes next year.
Yeah, you say you got an LLC now. Have you already been doing business with it, or cause you missed the deadline for extension and everything? So you saying you gonna do 2023 and 2024 is what you're saying?
Yes, sir. That's what I'm saying. I've been a sole proprietor since 2018, and I started my LLC. That's my second EIN earlier this year in 2023.
Depending on the intensity of it, when you first starting off, and you probably a home-based business, if you don't have a brick and mortar and have to do all this other, if I have to do your profit loss statement, if I have to go in there and go through all your receipts and create bookkeeping, then if it gets too deep, I'm gonna call Brad and say, give me Roby number and let Roby do it. And he really, because that CPA could charge you more than me. I just keep it real, man. He can charge you more. And look, I'm not being smart. I'm saying because he's earned that right to do that. I'm an Arrow. I'm an enrolled. I'm an electronic return originator. I could charge more than just a regular tax preparer. Roby could charge more than me. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I would tell you, I'm probably gonna start out, even if it's a home-based business, because it's gonna be a headache somewhere down the line. I'm gonna start out minimum 300 on them tax. So in your case, you start out 3 to 5, depending on how much work you got me doing in it. Somebody just took a course at Block, and then they just not starting to file, they may charge you $100. But you may get a letter or two from the IRS because of it. I mean, real talk. I carry liability insurance, errors and omissions insurance. Some people that's CPAs and stuff, they carry more stuff than I do. Why? Because they're so trusted by the state level government and the feds. When they stamp something, it goes. There's certain stuff when I notarize it and I stamp it, they take my word for it. So I would tell you minimum you're gonna need $300.
Anybody else got any questions in here tonight? I know y'all cooked up. Let's see who else got some questions in here.
Cooked up.
So everybody know everything about LLCs tonight.
I got a question for you, Scott.
Yes, sir.
So basically, I did my LLC all wrong. I had got my EIN number and all that, and then I ain't know what I was doing, but I just want to jump out there. You know, I was taking a risk, so I jumped out there, not knowing what I was doing. I end up, you know, not even fooling with my LLC. I did it through LegalZoom. So right now, I didn't know nothing about them annual fees every
What
year.
they charge you, man?
I owe $400.
So,
$400.
Okay, and you went online and you did the work.
Yeah, I mean they gave me the articles and all that stuff. I got all the documents on LegalZoom. Everything's right there. But
Operation, you mean you got everything?
yeah. I had to sign up with a registered agent.
Okay. Who you have no idea who is?
I have no idea who it was. I just thought that's what you had to do.
Probably a
Good
lady's
so-
name. Probably some lady's name on it, right?
Damn, yeah.
Yeah, I seen that. Been that. Not me personally, but I got clients done. So what happened? Did they now wait a minute with the amount of money a lot of times they charge? Because I did see one that was like $890. Right.
Yeah.
One of my best friends, well, soon to be ex-wife, but she had it was like $890 something they charged. There was a lot of fluff fee in there.
Mhm.
So when you say it's wrong, if they did it for you, how is it wrong?
Nah, it was wrong on me. Like I just didn't even pay attention to what I was doing for a year and a half. So
Let's understand the LLC was done right.
everything was done right.
Had been operating the company properly.
I just want operating it properly. So they hit me with the fee, the 400. So my shit got dissolved. So I'm trying to figure out.
Let me ask you this: why is it dissolved? Because once you get that, what state are you in?
North Carolina. I did it with North Carolina.
So
I'm in South Carolina now.
You're not doing your annual.
Yeah, my annual report. Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out, should I get it back or should I just leave it alone and start all over from
You're not gonna do business in North Carolina, you can dissolve it. With them, let them know, because you don't want to keep incurring something. That's like when in South Carolina, when people get retail license, resale license, sales and use tax, and they haven't set up to do quarterly or annually, you know, they're gonna make you do monthly, 6% here, right? And so even I just told a guy yesterday, even if you don't make a sale, because you're set up monthly, you need to report 0. Because they all of a sudden you get this letter and people panic. And they say you owe us $1,100 this month. He said, well, I ain't made a sale. I owe $1,100 in tax. Some of that's a scare tactic.
Gotcha.
And some people just pay it. And all you have to do is call them and say, listen, I forgot to file mine this month. They may ask you, well, would you rather do it quarterly? Well, I really want to do this about 2 or 3 times a year, but then you can file an annual. They can make that decision, okay? What it is you wasn't keeping up with your annual reports with North Carolina.
Right.
Tennessee does it, Georgia. In certain places, you have to file a report about what you're making. Now, some of my people in South Carolina with the LLC don't, but they have to file for a city business license. And I have to give that Schedule C have to send a copy of their Schedule C to the city of Spartanburg or something. And they charge them their license renewal based off what they made and done on their taxes, okay? So that's what I was telling you, paper trail. If you can't do it, you need somebody like me. I go to a certain level. When it gets in depth, I don't try to be Superman. I will find Roby. I tell Brad, call Roby. I tell him, find somebody. This ain't me. This is above me. I need this person to be doing this.
Right.
And that could be a good thing, because if you're making that kind of money, you need to be working with it. You know, I don't want to dib and dab in something that I'm not an expert at. But yeah, that's what that is. I want to hear your story. Facts tell, but stories sell, right? So your story sold me. That's why I was able to tell what you really done. What you did was you didn't keep up with your annual there.
Yeah.
I would find out with the Secretary of State there in North Carolina, what you owe, if anything.
They told me 400.
You don't want to kind of lean, state lien or something to be on you or anything either, because these states are something. And South Carolina's treacherous. I can imagine how North Carolina can be.
Yeah, I'll talk to him. That's what I owe, 400.
Okay. So, but call them back and say, listen, I'm moved to South Carolina. I want to transfer this, because you may not have to become a foreign LLC in South Carolina. You can dissolve that. Are you gonna keep the same name or you gonna change?
It's gonna be similar, but
well,
I got
if it ain't the
name.
same, similar ain't the same.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be a
It's
different
similar. See, you can be twins but look different, right? So right. So you similar though. So what you could do, since you could go ahead with the new one and start it in South Carolina. It'll have nothing, absolutely nothing to do with what's there. I would get with North Carolina, try to see, they may say, well, if you're gonna dissolve it, they may settle for something, or they may say, well, just make payments or whatever. They may not worry about it. I would call them on that. Tell them you move, you getting a whole new LLC in another state. What I need to do over here.
All right.
All right.
Bet.
Yes, sir. My man. Appreciate your question. Who else? Brad?
Anybody? We look like we went over about 11 minutes. I want to tell you thank you for that, Scott. I appreciate that. Anybody else got any last questions while we on here? Let's just go ahead and knock it out. If not, what we'll do is we'll be, if you guys want to got any other questions, just let me know and I'll reach out to Scott, see if I can get them answered. But let's try to get, if you got one last question, anything maybe you want to talk about,
I got one more, Scott.
Okay.
I'll be hearing people say, is a Ford F-250 a write-off?
Is a Ford F-250? Well, what's the difference in the 250 and the 150?
I don't know. I just heard
is
if
it
you
the weight? You
get
talking
a
about the
F-250,
weight?
you
The
can
weight
write it off.
situation?
It might be.
I just did a client's return. He owns an HVAC HVAC company. I do him every year. He's got two F-250s and two F-150s. Strictly for the business though. Because they ask us questions. Is it another car for personal use? Did you use it? More than likely, sometimes you still gonna drive it to Walmart or somewhere and do something anyway.
6,000 pounds.
Y'all talking about them Instagram reels y'all done seen. That's what they talking about.
I mean,
I don't heard that years though.
But let me ask you this. Here's something great. Here's something so wonderful about what we have now that I didn't have, and I'm probably the oldest on this call. No, Steve is.
There you go. Watch it. Put some respect on it.
Put some respect on it. Let me tell you something. We're in an era now that Steve and I didn't have growing up. We couldn't Google nothing. And if you want to really know, you go to irs.gov. And you type it in. If you want to question your professional to make sure they're doing right or telling you right, I mean, still now I look at stuff. When I train tax professionals, tax preparers, because you have to go through certain continuing education to be called a professional now with IRS, right? So I tell them, listen, don't your doctor do a test and then say they get back with you? Don't your attorney say, well, yeah, they take note and say, well, I call you tomorrow, next week. You know why they do that? They want to double check.
Mm-hmm.
You look more like a professional when you double check for your client than just thinking you'll know it all. So if it's something that, even if I know it, if I kind of question myself, I say, well, let me get back to you within 24 hours. I'm gonna go research. I earned a lot of clients, Brad. Tell you, I don't advertise or nothing for my business anymore, man. So it's just that with that, you look up those weights. You look on, can I write off this? Type it in. Can I write off my Ford F-150 for my business? 250. With it's certain things depending on whether you take actual expense or whether you just take the mileage rate. But remember, I said paper trail. Don't just throw miles and expenses in there. You need to keep a mileage log, or you need to get Avalanche. Avalanche is a mileage app. Track your miles. You don't have to be afraid of an audit if you got what you put in there and could prove it. It's kind of like, boys, we used to get off the block, Brad. I say, listen, once you go legit and you buy that Maserati, if they pull you over, what you worried about? You legit. If you out here underground selling dope, now you got a problem. You can't answer how you paid for that. Paper trail. System of checks and balances. Checks and balances. Dot I's, cross T's, X X's, you know? What else, Brad?
Anybody else got any more questions before we get up out of here?
Yeah, I'm gonna get myself. I gotta go put a suit and tie on and get on another call.
We're gonna cut it right there. Capiche. And if
it's
y'all
good seeing
questions,
some of
just
you
text the
people
number.
on here. Good seeing some of you people on here. I'm getting ready to have some organ music play in a minute, Brad, and you're gonna see a offering tray pop up right here in the bottom part of the screen, and you tell them to go on and drop the change in there.
Yeah,
and I'll pray for y'all businesses tonight. No, I'm just messing.
And like the webinars.
Deacon Steve, you ready?
I'm ready, brother. Yes, sir. I'm glad to see you.
Drop that site in the chat. Someone definitely need to learn amendment that was so. If it weighs 6,000 right on by my lead. Okay. I'm just looking at the chat to make sure I answer what I can answer. So if it's no other questions, man.
Yeah, man, let's go on. We're gonna go ahead and call it a day what it is. If you jumped in late, we'll have the replay up within the next 30 minutes. You know how I do, and I'll shoot a text to everybody with the replay so you can internalize this. If you didn't take no notes, shame on you. Just rewatch the replay and call it a comeback after that. Make sure you do these notes, man. With that being said,
is that Roby checked in down that man being quiet?
Nah, that's Robbie. That ain't Roby.
Oh, okay. I thought that was my man.
Big Roby sleep. It past his bedtime.
I'm trying to holler at my man, Big Roby.
Yeah. And if anybody want to holler at Roby about bookkeeping, like I said, just make sure you got your business bank account already set up and your LLC, all that set up, and then we'll get ready to get you all.
Everything's set up. So, guys, listen. What I'm saying is, Brad will probably talk to some of you guys later on about some opportunities. I'll speak with him first, but it's quite a few things coming up. I mean, I don't know what type businesses everybody does. K-Son, I definitely need to holler at you probably at least tomorrow sometime. And Steve, don't be a stranger.
Man, don't even try it. Nuh-uh.
Just saying, man. I'm gonna say it, man. You
really?
And my boy Steve present now, Scott. Where you at?
I'm saying. Yeah,
Well, all right, y'all. We once again, like I always say at the end of every Zoom, man, I really appreciate every single one of y'all in the community. Like I said, I hope this was very helpful to you guys. Next week, we're gonna have Davey on. He's a 23-year-old wholesaler, probably did over 200 wholesales, and he's from Greenville. He's 23 years old. So yeah, big time guy out here. Come from a big time family of people out here doing real estate. You're gonna learn a lot more about him. He'll be jumping in here next week. And you know the coach is gonna keep coming and the coach is gonna keep dropping sauce. Like I said, I appreciate every single one of y'all for joining the mastermind. And I would like everybody to at least refer one person into the mastermind this week. I have a special offer for you. I'm gonna pay for somebody LLC, whoever refers the most people within the next week. I'll put that on the table. I'm gonna pay for your LLC to whoever refers the most people in the next week into the mastermind to come and learn more new sauce that they need as much as you received today. All right. So usually I'd shoot a little prayer out. Tonight I'm just going to keep it brief. All right. Lord Jesus, thank you for everybody in here. We know that we had some fallen soldiers this week. We know we had some big wins this week. With the good come the bad. Lord Jesus, just give everybody the strength to be able to see it through. And Lord Jesus, please help everybody stay on tune about what they need to do to get their action plan done. And I pray for every single one of y'all souls, man. Amen. All right, community.
Appreciate you, brother.
You know what time it is. I'll holler at y'all soon. Replay coming in about 30 minutes. All right.
Oh, replay. Boom. Thanks,
right.
guys. Thank you for your
right,
time,
Scott.
brother.
Thank you, Scott. You already know. Big dog.
Scott, I'm gonna try to call you. I don't know if you'll answer though.
I'm up. I need to go take my medicine, so I don't mind talking to you while I do. Hit me up.
All right, man. We'll holler.
All right.
All right.